Okay, so the text analyzing tool that I chose is called Bookworm, and it's really interesting because basically what it does is it puts on a graph the frequency of words over time, and you can kind of see a comparison of that. And what it does is it does this for a few different corpora, which I'm going to kind of walk through two of them with you, and then they all kind of work the same, so I feel like once you know how to use one, you can use all the other ones. So first, Open Library is just a corpora of books. So basically every subject of book you can imagine, there it is. And so all of the search items work the same way. So if you only want to search one word, you just click the minus and they'll go away. But if you want to compare the frequency of words, then you just click a plus and then it will pop up. So let's say that something I'm interested in searching is, so since this is books, let's say that I'm interested in literature. So you can do the subject. So maybe I'm interested in, I know that language and literature is down here somewhere. So literature, and then you can narrow it even further to just the different subjects that are within literature. But let's say we still want to keep it a little bit broad. You can change the language and the country and state that it's in, so you can really refine your search down, which is kind of cool. And let's say I'm interested in vampires. Okay, so I want to know at what point in history were the most literature books written about vampires, and we'll go ahead and make these singular, which, and we'll say, what's another fairy tale creature? Werewolf. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and make sure that they're all the same subject for the sake of the search. And then, there we go. And then language and literature, one more time. And then the last thing I want to point out that you pay attention to is over here with the settings. You can change the year of publication, and this is important to look at with their different corpora. So it will have, the years are different for the time that they collected data, so this is only until 2009. And then you can also change your percentage or count depending on what you're wanting to look at. So let's say I'm interested in word count of all the books from, let's say, 900, there it goes, to 2010. And so I'll search, and it's really quick, and so here's my graph. So now I've kind of answered my question that books about witches were really popular in the early 1900s, and unfortunately our vampires and werewolves just weren't really as popular. So it's really cool because you can compare words. As far as I know, it's focusing on the frequency of those words. But like I said, you can do anything with this. I mean, there's a ton of different subjects you can look at, and so yeah, it's just a really cool tool for easily making things visual. And then one more I want to show you. So there's a lot that you can kind of explore depending on your interests. But there's science publications, historical newspapers, and then they have bills, amendments, and resolutions. And then these are just kind of more, I think, a little bit more pop culture interesting, I guess. So I wanted to look at movies. And so, yeah, so this is thousands of movies and TV shows. And so it's, like I said, very similar kind of search where you plus or minus depending on how many words you want. Let's say I'm interested in, let's go political. Let's go Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and keep it broad. But see, I wanted you to be able to see that you can refine your search to all of these different things, either with directors or genre, whatever it is. And then we'll look at their years. So this is all the way to 2015, so this is pretty recent stuff that they have on this corpus. So we'll search, and here you have it. That it looks like Donald Trump is a little bit more popular here, more frequently talked about, especially in here. It's maybe from The Apprentice and that type of stuff. But yeah, super interesting way of making things visual. And then, so all of these corpora are pretty similar as far as navigating and searching goes. And then, so you can use this tool for yourself. And the way that you do that is you just scroll to the top and create a bookworm. And what you'll have to do is you do a username and password, which I did. But one critique that I will have about this is if you go to the documentation, if you want to use their system, you have to have these 3 components. And so the raw texts, obviously the metadata, but I'm not sure what this means. And so the critique I have for it, it's not as user-friendly for people who maybe aren't as familiar. If you're a beginner with using corpora, that's maybe the only thing I would say about it. But I think if you are familiar with how to create a corpus and all the language that goes with it, then more power to you. And then, I mean, it does do a relatively helpful job of explaining it, but I think it's mostly under the assumption that you know what you're doing. But so yeah, it is. You can use it for your own corpus if you need graphs and that type of stuff. And then, like I said, it focuses specifically on frequency. And I think that's about it. So that is the Bookworm corpus tool. Wait, did this not pick up anything? Because I'm going to completely freak out. No! What? I tested it.